The round of 32 is here. Today is the last day of group stage and we have 9 games confirmed. So I thought, why waiting until tomorrow? Let's do the 9 games today and then we complete it tomorrow. Tomorrow we have the first game, Canada, South Africa, Sunday, June 28th, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. And we're gonna start with this banger. This almost didn't look like this at all. Canada walked into match day 3 as Group B's apparent control team, but Switzerland had other ideas. A 2-1 win that knocked the co-hosts down to a second place. Jesse Marsh's side still got the job done over the group, beating Qatar 6-0 and drawing with Bosnia. But that final day loss to Swiss is the story heading into the knockouts. Is this a team that peaked early or one that just had a bad night against the best team in this group? South Africa is the feel-good story of the entire tournament so far. Bafana Bafana opened with a flat loss to Mexico, the host nation, and looked like they might be making up the numbers. Instead, they ground out a draw with Czechia, then produced the single biggest shock of the group stage, a 1-0 win over South Korea that sent them through to the knockouts of the first time in country World Cup history. It is the brutal subplot. Neither of these teams has ever won a World Cup knockout match, not once. Whoever wins will write a new page in their own history. The prediction. Canada has more individual quality across the pitch, but South Africa has the momentum and nothing to lose. I expect a cagey, tense opener with Canada's depth and eventually showing, but don't be shocked if Bafana Bafana make this far closer than the form suggests. I predict Canada to win, but it's not going to be comfortable. This second match, Brazil, Japan, Houston. Brazil topped their Group C on goal difference over Morocco. After both teams won their final matches, Brazil put in 3 past Scotland and Morocco put in 4 past Haiti. Carlo Ancelotti's side has gotten the results, but the squad has taken hits. Of course, they didn't bring Rodrigo and Estivao, who's supposed to be the breakout attacking piece for this World Cup, never even made the first squad after a serious hamstring injury. That's forced 34-year-old Neymar back into the picture as a lifeline option out wide, alongside Vinicius Jr. and Rafinha, carrying more creative weight than Ancelotti probably wanted heading into the knockouts. Japan, meanwhile, is the slipper team nobody wants to play right now. They drew Netherlands in a performance that turned heads, then sealed second place in Group F with another draw, this time against Sweden. They banged up to Takefusa Kobo's club teammate at the wing position. Karo Mitoma didn't make Japan final squad after a hamstring injury picked up just before the deadline, which hurts their attacking width. But Moriyasu's side has built an identity around discipline and counters, and there is history here that Brazilian fans won't love being reminded of. Japan beat Brazil 3-2 in a friendly just last October. My prediction, Brazil has the firepower and the bigger occasion experience, but this Japan team has shown it doesn't fear the big stage. Expect Japan to sit in, stay organized, and make Brazil work for every yard. Brazil to win, Japan will make them sweat for it. Germany topped Group E early, but the headline from their group wasn't the win, it was the loss. Ecuador beat them 2-1 in the final group match. A genuine shock that didn't cost Germany top spot but exposed cracks in a squad already missing key pieces. Serge Gnabry is out entirely with an abductor injury and that ended his domestic season early. An 18-year-old breakout talent Karl tore a muscle in training before the tournament even started. This is a Germany squad that's true, but bruised. Paraguay is the quiet achiever of Group G. While all headlines went to the States, group stage form, Paraguay was finishing third with 4 points, enough to sneak in as one of the tournament bids third place teams. They are not flashy, but they are disciplined, and they have already shown they can hang with stronger opposition without folding. The prediction: Paraguay's defensive shape will make this low scoring and nervy. Germany will win this one, but expect a narrow, anxious scoreline rather than a statement performance. The game that I'm waiting for. This is the most romantically loaded fixture of the entire round of 32. The Netherlands finished top of Group F with a 3-1 win over already eliminated Tunisia, and they are flying. Koji Gakpo and Brabi have answered the call up front, but the squad had injury concerns. Timber went down and was replaced before the tournament. Simons tore his ACL back in the spring and never made the squad at all, and their veteran defender De Ligt has been ruled out long-term after a setback in his recovery. That's 3 significant absences in defense, and midfield hidden into a knockout tie against a team that knows this Dutch squad better than almost anyone. Morocco has a lot of superstars. I call them superstars. Hakimi just won the Champions League. Brahim Diaz did really good in the last fixtures with Real Madrid. And you're not gonna believe this. The best player in Eredivisie, which is the Dutch league, is a Moroccan player with 3 goals this World Cup, Ismail Sabari. My prediction: this has every ingredient for an emotional, low-key classic. Morocco's defensive identity, built on discipline and quick transitions, their perfect midfield, pairs perfectly with a Dutch backline that's missing some of its first choice options. This is the closest of the 9 confirmed tie on paper. Morocco for the win. Ivory Coast locked up second in Group E with a 2-0 win over already eliminated Curaçao, finishing behind Germany but ahead of a standing Ecuador side. They've been efficient rather than spectacular, but efficient is exactly what gets you through a group with a heavyweight in it. Norway is the story of the tournament for neutral fans. This is a golden generation finally delivering on the international stage. Anchored by Haaland, and they showed exactly what they're capable of by beating Senegal and Iraq and losing to France in the final group match. My prediction: Norway has the bigger individual talent and the momentum of a statement win still fresh in the legs. Ivory Coast will be physical and well organized, but Haaland against the back line that conceded its share of chances this tournament is a dangerous mismatch. I predict Norway to win, and off the back of their biggest performance of the tournament. France comes to this game winning 3 games out of 3, 9 points, 10 goals, almost done by Kylian Mbappe and Dembele. A perfect performance from the attack, but there are some questions about the defense. They almost received goals in every game except the Iraq one. And yeah, Sweden is safely through as one of the third place teams, finishing with 4 points and an even goal difference after a tie 1-1 draw with Japan in their final match. Graham Potter has built a side that's hard to break down rather than one that dominates game, and that profile low blocks, disciplined shape, patient is exactly what kind of opponent can frustrate a France team trying to find its rhythm again. My prediction: France has more talent. Mbappe against a backline without the legs of a top 8 nation is a mismatch in the final third. France to win, and watch for nerves early if Sweden parks the bus. The USA path here was settled early. Group G top spot was locked up before the final match day even kicked off, which is why Mauricio Pochettino could afford to rest key starters like Christian Pulisic, who's still working back from a calf issue in a meaningless 3-2 defeat to Turkey. That loss changes nothing about the bracket, but it does mean that USA goes into this tie without the rhythm of a strong final performance by design. Bosnia here was the most mathematically complicated story of the entire group stage. They finished third in Group B with 4 points, behind both Switzerland and Canada, and only secured their spot once Sweden's draw with Japan in a completely different group locked the bracket combinations into place. It's a strange way to qualify, but they are here and they are dangerous. A well-drilled European side that nobody in this bracket particularly wants to draw. The prediction is home soil USA with Pulisic, presumably back to fuller fitness by kickoff, should have enough going forward to get past the Bosnian. USA to win on home turf, with Pulisic injury situation as the swing factor. To watch in the days before kickoff, Australia group stage was unspectacular. They claimed their automatic spot with a scoreless draw against Paraguay. The kind of result that doesn't make highlight reels but get the job done. Eran Kunda has been their most dangerous individual in the first game, and he's really dangerous in the final third. And a side built on patience and structure heads into this tie having barely broken sweat. Egypt's path was anything but calm. Their group went through chaos late. The top two spots in Group G switched hands 7 times across the final night, 3 times in the last 10 minutes alone. Belgium beat New Zealand ultimately in sealed top spot for them, while Egypt clung to second on a 1-1 draw with Iran that needed a late VAR offside call to go their way. Mohamed Salah has stepped up for this team all tournament, and they'll arrive this time having survived the most dramatic finish of any group in the competition. My prediction, if you're asking. Egypt's spot came with late match heroic and Salah delivering when it mattered, which is exactly the kind of momentum that carries into a knockout tie. Australia, they are solid, but solid doesn't always beat a team riding genuine emotional momentum. Egypt to win in a tight, low-scoring affair. Argentina, Cape Verde, and this is one of the must-watch fixtures if you're not planning to watch all the 16 matches of this round, because Argentina are the World Cup champions defenders playing against, I'm calling them right now, the dark horse of this tournament. Cape Verde, they have a compact defense. They didn't let Spain of scoring. The game was 0-0. Second game, they fought hard against Uruguay, who was furious, and they got themselves a draw 2-2. And yesterday, they got themselves a draw that got them here against Saudi Arabia, 0-0. But they will play against Lionel Messi, who is planned to rest today against Jordan. He's not going to be starting. And a group of Argentinians that they are playing for one player, Lionel Messi, to give him or give the nation a second World Cup. With the coach that has experience of the last World Cup in Qatar. With the group that has a really high chemistry. My prediction is that Argentina will pass. Tell me what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and peace.